Roll down your windows, please.
Sorry, no.
Roll down the back windows, please.
Wait, there's no one here. I'm parked because I'm trying to talk to my friend on the phone.
She was 28, and it was not the age when people still believed in miracles. She believed only in the road, long, dark, stretching endlessly ahead, just like the path that had led her to that night. The asphalt flowed beneath the streetlights, and Missouri felt quiet, indifferent to other people's secrets. She had arrived in the United States 5 years earlier. At first, she worked in kitchens, then cleaning jobs, night shifts, constant fear of inspections. Her passport had long lost its meaning, her legal stay had expired, and returning home meant defeat. She did not want to go back to the poverty she had escaped. When she was offered a one-time delivery, she hesitated for a long time. They told her it was just a package, that the risk was minimal, that it was a chance to finally pay off her debts and disappear. She did not ask questions. That night, there was more than drugs in her trunk. There was her hope of breaking free. The flash of red and blue lights tore through the darkness without warning. She understood everything instantly. Her hands trembled, but she did not stop abruptly. She pulled over slowly, as if buying herself time. "Ma'am, turn off the engine and step out of the vehicle." The officer's voice was calm. That was what frightened her the most. She locked the doors. The window stayed up. One thought kept spinning in her head. "If I get out, it's over." She shouted that she would not step out, that she would not show any documents, that they had no right. Her words came out sharp, sometimes filled with profanity, sometimes with desperation. The police followed procedure. Warnings, another warning, clear explanations of the consequences. Time passed. 10 minutes, 20, nearly an hour. She sat inside the car, fingers clenched around the steering wheel, crying, then falling silent, then screaming again. She knew she was only delaying the inevitable, but she could not stop. When the door was opened, she resisted with all her strength. They pulled her from the vehicle. Everything happened fast, brutally, without unnecessary words. She fell hard. Pain exploded through her body. Someone ordered an ambulance. The hospital was bright and cold. The smell of antiseptic filled the air. The doctors did what they knew how to do best. They saved her life. For the first time in a long while, she allowed herself to lie still and stop running. When her identity was checked, the truth surfaced. Illegal presence in the country, citizenship of Kyrgyzstan, false documents, drugs in the trunk. She did not deny it. She had no strength left. The court hearing was short, dry legal language, numbers, statutes. A real prison sentence. She listened while staring at the floor and felt something unexpected. Relief. There was no need to run anymore. When the judge read the verdict, she barely heard the words. They dissolved into a dull noise in her head, echoing that same night. Her name was spoken one last time, no longer as a person, but as a case number and a sentence. She was led out of the courtroom in handcuffs. The corridor was cold, the lights painfully bright. For a brief moment she stopped and looked up. Through a narrow window she could see the sky, gray, indifferent, just like the night of her arrest. She realized that freedom sometimes looks exactly like this, close, visible, and unreachable. In the prison cell, nights felt longer than years. The pain in her body reminded her every morning of that resistance, that struggle that never stood a chance. The doctors saved her life, but they could not save her choices. The hardest part was not the prison. The hardest part was the silence. In the silence, she was back in the car again, watching the red and blue lights flicker, hearing the officer's voice giving her one last chance to step out. She knew it then. One movement, one quiet, "Okay," and everything would have been different. But the door never opened. She often thought she had lost more than her freedom. She had lost the moment when she could still remain a human being, not just a report, not just footage. That night, she was not fighting the police. She was fighting fear, and she lost. Years later, when someone watches the dry body cam footage, they will not see her thoughts, her doubts, her silent scream. They will see only commands, resistance, and a verdict, and the real tragedy remained between the frames.